That was my attempt to drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Casey and Catherine, but we're talking about Casey today, and she is the Maven of Marketing. So I was going to introduce your company. How about you introduce your company? You'll do so much better than I will. So take it away, Casey.
Thank you. So my company is called C3, and we help people develop, emerge, and thrive with inbound marketing. That's us in a very small nutshell.
Right. Speaking of thrive, any of our subscribers, if they don't know, Casey has another podcast, right?
I do. So it's called We Thrive Podcast. And it is all about me interviewing entrepreneurs about how, well, first of all, what they think of when they hear the word thrive, and what resources that they've used to thrive, what thriving looks like in their life today, and how they're utilizing their resources and experience to create a legacy that's going to continue to thrive.
Very nice. Very nice. I listen to them. They're excellent. So whoever subscribes here needs to hurry up and subscribe there too. So you get double dose of Casey. So when I call you the Maven of Marketing, I'm going to admit that that is one of the questions that people ask me. Do I know any marketers? Do I know any marketers? Because it does seem to be, I want to say, difficult finding someone that you connect with to do your marketing.
Yeah.
So do you hear that in your business?
I do a lot. And I always tell people that you have to market like people are human. Like, I jokingly say, like, I market in a human way, and people kind of look at me like, well, aren't we all humans? Which is hilarious, because today I was on a call with a client, little side note, and she's like, okay, well, I can do that. I just have to make sure I don't schedule any of my human clients, because she's an animal communicator. So she literally has like animal clients and human clients. And I'm like, wow, you're the first person that's ever has like differentiate that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm thinking of some of my clients who have had dog clients or whatever. So so I want the world to know, how does Casey do it differently than everybody else? Spill the beans.
For one, I'm pretty certain there's not another person out there like me. And if there is, Lord help them.
I understand that statement 1,000%.
I'm a bit unique, or as some people say, I forget how they put it. Basically, my weirdness is intriguing. So here I am. But it makes me money. So I've always had a different way of looking at things. Even growing up, most people are like, oh, I had like this role model. And I'm like, yeah, I watched what I didn't want to do. Like, I looked at that and said, I don't want to be that person, or I don't want to do that. And even like today, like, people are like, oh, that's so much self-awareness. And like, that's what I do. I look at myself, like, what am I doing to contribute to this? So speaking of marketing, I would say probably 95% of the companies that I come across, and that's being modest, ask people to get married on the first date. So let's role play. All right. So we're out having dinner, and it's our first date, and just start having a casual conversation with me.
Oh, Casey, I really like that jacket you have on.
Well, thank you, Catherine. And you know what? I know nothing about you, but will you marry me?
Yes.
So in that case, yes was the answer, but in 99.9, yes, psycho, exactly. So take that and translate it to your business. So imagine, okay, let's use you for an example. So imagine you are, again, so you're talking with a potential client and you just meet them at a networking event and, you get their name, you get their business, and then you say, you know what, you own a business. I bet you need a leadership coach. Let me talk to you. I can consult you and I can consult your, leaders on your team. I can help you grow your business. And statistically, it's proven that my clients grow 9 times more. Would you be like, excuse me? Or would you be like, yeah, let's do it?
That's a good question because, okay, I like hearing good stuff, but I don't want to be attacked.
Right. And if literally you had no information about a person,
Right.
you're going to feel attacked. You're going to be like, whoa, like too much, too fast.
I had to laugh because 2 people popped into my head that probably did exactly that at a networking thing. And I thought, wow, okay. 2 people popped into my head and they did exactly that. And then they wanted to know nothing about me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for one, it's a two-way street, but a lot of times people will put stuff out there. So for example, let's take a Google ad or a Facebook ad, for example. If you are putting out on Facebook, let's just use a t-shirt, for example, buy this t-shirt now, and the t-shirt is $80 and it looks just like every other t-shirt out there. Chances are that you are wasting your ad money because people know nothing about the fact that, the materials are locally sourced, that the t-shirt is, packaged in the US, that the materials are recycled, or, that you use like you're green when you handle your shipping, whatever the case might be. They know nothing because you're asking them to buy the first time that they see you. So with marketing, it's really, really important. And actually, as a business owner, it is your responsibility to not only get the people to know, like, and trust you, but you have to take them through the buying journey. And people don't even realize they're going on the buying journey, but psychologically, it is a process that we all go through.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh, we're on that teeter where like I'm about to nerd out.
Feel free, my dear. I mean, we're getting married. So.
Yes. So you have to know all the things about me. Absolutely. So, okay. So I use an example when I went to the chiropractor. So I was rear-ended a few years ago and was going to my regular chiropractor, and it was my back, my shoulder, my back. And by shoulder, I mean like shoulder blade. And I'm talking, and every day, I would go in, he would just adjust that one spot. I would leave, come back, then my appointments started to space further and further apart. However, I went to another chiropractor actually to do an onboarding session. She was a new client, and she said to me, did you know that your back pain and your shoulder blade can actually be coming from your chest or the front of your shoulder? And I'm like, no. So she created an awareness for me by making that simple statement. So imagine if she was on social media and put that very statement. Did you know that your back pain can actually be coming from your chest or the front of your shoulder? If I'm having back pain that's unresolved, I'm going to think, oh, like, no, I didn't think of that, but now I'm definitely thinking about it.
Right.
So boom, stage 1 of the buying journey is done and awareness is created.
Right.
So then we go into the consideration stage. So she said, let me show you what I mean. I'm going to do a quick evaluation on you. So she stands me up. She pushes one part like at the top of my pec muscle. I kid you not. if she wasn't messing with my right arm, I probably would have punched her in the face because she hit a spot and she said, exactly, it's actually your chest is strained, which is causing your back to overwork, which is why the pain is back there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're genius.
Yeah.
How do I hire you? Or
Yes.
I need you as my chiropractor. So
Yeah.
then she said, no problem, go up front, book an appointment, and we'll come in and do a thorough examination. I mean, I've dislocated my hip before. I've torn ligaments in my ankle. I'm like, what else is this lady gonna do for me?
Right.
You know, it opened up the floodgates.
Right.
But she took me through the buying journey. She created an awareness. She allowed me to consider her by giving me like a demo essentially.
Right.
And then I made the decision because she was like, okay, like I've given you proof that I know what I'm talking about. And like, I've done that verbally and physically. So now here you go, you're booking with me, and I bought. So you have to apply that in every single situation in your business, no matter if you're selling a product or a service.
Yeah. Honestly, that was the best explanation I've probably ever heard about marketing.
Simple.
Yeah.
It's simple, but so many people overlook it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you had me, what was that Tom Cruise show where she said, you had me at hello? Like you had me at when you said, you mentioned marketing as a two-way street. And I thought, I don't know, maybe I've thought of it, but I don't know that I thought of it so deep like that. Like you see it. This is the problem, right? Because you see it from these other marketing agencies where it's coming at you. It's coming at you. It's coming at you. And you don't even, you feel so, like info overload.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even talking to me. It's just coming at me.
Yeah.
And the way you explained it felt more personal.
Yeah, it's the human way of marketing.
Yeah.
So going back to the two-way street. So let's say you're like pumping out this information, and actually this brings up a great point. So the other day, I literally had a client call me on Wednesday morning and say, we have reached 786,000 people. I need you to get us to 1 million by Friday. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, sure. That's
Love
not
it.
just 2,000 people. Like we're
Love
talking
it.
about a lot.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I did what I needed to do to get them to that point. By Friday morning at 9 a.m., we had hit 1,006,300 people. And a friend, thank you, a friend of mine that I was talking to was like, I don't get it. How did you know how to do that? And how are you so confident? And I'm like, because I've gathered the information, not only from my client to understand fully what they do, but from those people that they're selling to, so that I can tailor the message that's going to intrigue them and get them to come in so I can court them instead of asking them to get married on the first date.
Right.
So literally they get in front of, over 1 million people, so hundreds of thousands of people. And that Friday they would normally have like 300 people involved in their event. They had over 1,200 people just online. Was that solely because of me? Absolutely not.
Oh.
You're like, yes, thank you. It wasn't, but a lot of it was because it didn't just start with that event. Like I wasn't just getting the message out about that event. I've spent the last 6 months with them building up the message.
Right.
And getting to know what people like and what they don't like. So it's literally a two-way street. You have to exchange information from both ends, and you can't just be, making them drink out of a fire hose about you.
Right. And that's kind of what I see with a lot of the marketers. I don't see any meat and potatoes with a lot of people. And like what you just explained, that is exactly why or how you do it different.
Yeah, it is. And So I could, I mean, obviously this is what I do, so I could talk
Yeah.
about it like in my sleep. So the last point I would like to make is don't have me syndrome. Actually, that's not the last point. There's two more points I would
Give
like to
it,
make.
give it, girl. I am here to learn.
So one is don't have me syndrome. Like if you're trying to sell your product or service to a company, don't go in with, oh, I can do this and we do that. Prime example, today I was at a client's and a gentleman walked through the door and he says, oh, I can get you this at a cheaper price. And I'm noticing that our competitor, and mentions their name, is promising things and not delivering, and they're not invoicing correctly. And I'm like, okay, issue one, you're saying this is what I can do. Issue two, you're bashing your competitor. You have already struck out with me, buddy. Like I don't even work for the, the company that I was at, but you don't do that. It's not about you. It's about how can you help the customer and how are you going to make them look like the hero in their story?
Yes.
That's all
They're
it
the
is.
hero.
Absolutely.
The word consultant should have like a parentheses behind it and say, we are willing to let you be the hero.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So then my next and last point, I promise, is the giver's gain. The more you give, the more you will get. And that goes in marketing. Like so many people are like, oh, I have this 5-page white paper. I want to charge $20. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Give it to them. Show them your expertise. Use that as part of the buying journey. When they're in that consideration stage, use that to strut your stuff in a, this was the client problem, this is the solution, and this is the outcome that we had. Don't say like, I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. Again, you're focusing it on the client, how you helped. So it's the giver's gain. And, I have people who are like, oh, you go to clients all the time and like take pictures and stuff. For one, people don't know that my first business ever was a photography company.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. So fun fact, I love taking pictures. And at the same time, like people are like, I hope you charge them a lot of money. That's a lot of time. No, I don't. Like it's included in what we offer. Because it allows us to do our job better, but it gives such a more personal feel to their marketing that it makes them stand out from everyone else.
Yes. I mean, your packages are very reasonable in the industry that you are. So, so how would someone get a hold of you?
So you can go to thrivewithc3.com. So I laugh because we recently kind of switched everything over to the Thrive theme.
Yeah.
So for the past 5 years, I've been saying cclarkconsulting.com, which you can still go there. You'll still get to the same place. But you can definitely reach us on our website. You can look up our podcast on any podcast channel, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We are out there everywhere.
That's good. And everyone should contact Casey today, hire her today, and get your business info out there. Get it out there. All right. So we talked to the Maven of Marketing today, Casey, and that was a blast. I actually learned things and I jotted down some notes here to the side. Next week, this is a great follow-up. This is a great follow-up. Next week, pick your nose, pick a pimple, but don't pick my pocket.
Amen to that. No pocket picking.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Subscribe. Have your friends and family subscribe. We're having a good time. See you. Bye.
Take care.